Hey there, it's SharRon. I hope everybody's having a great week. I thought I would do a very brief video versus a post about relationships as we continue our quest for great results for the remainder of 2018. And today I want to just leave two tips about relationships. And I don't care if it's a companionship, partnership, relationship, mentorship, sponsorship, discipleship, fellowship, it doesn't matter. There are a couple of things that are inherent in all good relationships. And that is to ask yourself, are you interested in really connecting, or are you interested in controlling? Are you interested in connecting or controlling? Hey, Angela and Venice. And I wanted to put that out there because so often in our relationships, we think that we are interested in connecting with someone, but our behavior demonstrates that we only are interested in controlling. So how can you really discern the difference? How can you just distinguish if you are interested in really connecting with a person versus interested in controlling a person? Hey, John, I want to give you a couple of tips. The first thing that's interesting to help you identify if you're interested in really connecting with someone is to ask yourself, are you expressing love in the way that they experience love? Or are you expressing respect in a way that they experience respect? Here's the truth. We all experience love, respect differently. And we experience love and respect based on how we are wired, our culture, our conditioning, the stories that we are taught about it. And we know that's the truth because that's why the book called The 5 Love Languages is so important and so critical, but also the 5 apology languages, because we all experience and express apologies and love differently. For example, I find a lot in relationships where people are in some type of romantic relationships, a person might not feel loved if you express love by giving gifts, but however they experience love by touch. Or in a professional relationship that you might express appreciation by money, but they experience appreciation by recognition. So we want to look at our lives and ask ourselves, are we expressing love, admiration, respect in the same way that a person experiences love and respect? Because it's not about you. So if you're interested in really connecting with someone, you'll find out how they experience love, how they experience respect, how they experience caring, and make sure you connect with them. That's connecting. Because if you try to force a person to experience and love how you give it, that's all about control, right? Connection is, let me make sure I give the person what they need in the way they experience it. It's kind of like ice cream. I don't care if you give somebody all the chocolate ice cream in the world. If they hate chocolate, they're not going to experience you giving them something. They're going to really resent that you're giving them something that they don't like. So that's one thing. Make sure that what you express and how you express something is in the same way a person experiences something, and that's what and that's for all your relationships. Two things. The second thing I want to say is important that you walk in. The second E is empathy. Empathy is not sympathy. Sympathy says I feel for you. Empathy says I feel with you, and because I feel with you, I put myself in your situation so I can see it from your vantage point. Now, empathy is so important because people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Stephen Covey taught us that. So the question is that people that you like, people that you love, people that you work with, the question is, hey, Sharon, are you demonstrating that you care about what they care about and understand that even though it might not affect you, but it affects them and affects them deeply and affects them profoundly. So if we're going to be empathetic, you want to ask yourself, are you paying attention and get it outside of our ego so we can walk in a very empathetic way with people that we work with and people that we love with? If we are walking with empathy, we're trying to connect. If we don't walk with empathy, we're really trying to control the situation. So that's the second E. The third thing I want you to consider is employment. Now, why is that important? one of the blessings is that what makes us strong in our jobs can also make us weak in our relationships. Believe me, I have lost more relationships in 2 marriages because I got this wrong, right? As in my sense of employment, I'm very direct, I'm very straightforward, I'm a problem solver. But many times the people you date, they don't want you to be that, you know? And so we have to understand that when we come home, that we might have to take off all those some of those traits are kind of turn down, those traits that make us successful professionally, because that might not make you really healthy in a relationship. For example, if you're a lawyer, your partner doesn't want you to interrogate them all the time. Or if you are a judge, they don't want you laying down the law. Or if you work with kids, they don't want you to come home and treat them like they're the 5th child. So we want to ask ourselves, are there characteristics that really make us successful in our place of employment? And how can we either, turn up or turn down those same traits so that we look at our partner as in their totality? Believe me, I have to remind myself that I'm not the boss in relationships, and people leave me all the time because I'm a problem solver. I'm a solution oriented. Let's go. Let's do this. And it runs people away. And so that's something I want you to think about. So that's the 3rd E. The 4th E is engagement. What does that mean? It means that sometimes in our relationships, we get so comfortable that we don't even offer what I call common courtesies to the people we love the most. Just think about it. Perfect strangers, we'll say thank you, we'll hold the door, we'll say please, we'll say all those types of things to people that we don't even know. And then we come home like, move over, where's my food, open the door. We come home with mandates, right? And we don't even operate or use those common courtesies that we do with people we don't even know. I feel like our best behavior should be with use for the people who we love the most and people who know us despite all of our ups and downs, our quirks, our flaws. Those are the people that we sometimes don't exercise good courtesies with. We just start taking them for granted, and then we get mad when they leave. We got to make sure that we don't stop extending those common courtesies to the people that we work with, or the people who are the closest to us. Many times we give strangers better treatment than we give people who are closest to us. So we got to really think about that, right? So that's engagement. And the last thing is employment. Oh, expectations. That's the last one. Now, when we come to any type of relationship, I don't care if it's platonic, romantic, professional, we bring with us an expectation of how we think the relationship should be, right? We all have these expectations. I want to say that expectations are acid to a relationship. They're like assumptions. And so when we get into any relationship, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, are we in this relationship and we're co-creating something with another human being? And we have to co-create it with another human being, because if not, we will force our opinion in the relationship, and people are not interested in that. Remember, we are different people with different people. Hey, Zenobia, we're different people with different people. That means that every time we are with another person, we have to co-create a way in a relationship with that distinct person, because we are different people with different people. So we can't bring our expectations to our work relationship, our friendship, our partnership, and think our partners are going to be okay with that. Our friends are going to be okay with that. Remember, relationships are not about dictation. They're about co-creation. And you have to co-create something that works for both of you. And if the relationship does not work for both of you, you're not connecting with someone, you're trying to control someone. So I want us to think about, are we willing to look at how we are engaging with someone? And engaging with someone means that we have to refine a couple of skills that we don't really spend time developing. Communication, conflict, and compromise. Very, very important. But since they are soft skills, we think that we don't need to develop it. But it's our soft skills that make us better leaders and better managers and better influencers. It's those soft skills that we don't practice. Just because you know how to talk doesn't mean that you know how to communicate. We have a lot of people talking everywhere. Look at Trump, ain't saying the word. So we want to make sure that we find out and learn and continue to ask ourselves, how am I communicating? And you only are communicating with when the person that you're talking to understand what you're talking about. And also engaging in conflict. Healthy tension is needed for relationships, because if you are not in a relationship where there's some healthy tension, you won't grow. So I want us to think about the 5 E's and ask ourselves how we are showing up in our relationships. Remember, 1 is expectations. Don't bring your expectations to the relationship. You're not the only one in the relationship. It's important for us to move from dictation to co-creation and create a relationship in a way of functioning that works for both parties. 2, empathy. Are you putting yourself in that person's shoes? If you are not willing to put yourself in another person's shoes, you have not earned the right to be listened to, nor earned the right to be followed. Just want to let you know that empathy. 3rd thing is engagement. How are you engaging with that person? Are you engaging with them in a way with great communication skills, great compromise, great conflict management skills that makes them want to engage with you and trust you? So that's the 3. The 4th one is employment. Make sure that you don't bring your what you do in your employment home. Even if you are a minister, everybody don't want you trying to be their minister. People don't want you to be their lawyer. People don't want you to be their doctor. So we got to make sure that we flex other parts of ourselves and not just bring what makes us great at our jobs and bring that home to our relationships, because people are not interested in that. And finally, make sure that how a person experiences something is how you express it. So if they experience love in a certain way, make sure you are expressing love in a certain way. In that way, if they experience apology in that way, make sure you express an apology in that way. So those are the 5 E's that I want you to think about. And I also want you to, if you have not subscribed to SOAR News, I want you to do that. And also I want you to be on the lookout. I'm going to have a small intimate event in October that I want you to think about, because I think that when we cultivate our relationship skills, it not only makes us a better parent, it makes us a better partner, a better professional, and it also allows you to partner with people so that you can grow your influence, your income, and your impact. A lot of times we don't really have the success that we can have because we are trying to control relationships versus connect in relationships. And when we learn to connect, that's when we are able to not only grow ourselves, but to grow whatever we are trying to build. So I want you to ask yourself, are you trying to connect or are you trying to control? And hopefully those 5 E's will help you decide and discern and distinguish between control and connecting, so that you can have relationships that are not only profitable and profound, but also peaceful. Because we function better when we operate from a place of peace and when we operate from a place of respect. So I want you to make sure that you see how we can connect. And also I'm going to be making some major changes in my business. I'm looking forward to that. So be on the, if you have not signed up for the SOAR News, please sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to start sharing information primarily through my newsletter. So I want you to do that too. If you have not connected with me on social media, let's do that. And 3, I want to make sure that you know about the events that are coming up. One is the small intimate event that I'm going to have for people who are committed to soaring higher. And one of the ways we soar higher is to look at the skills that make us more willing and more make us a magnet for people to want to work with us, so we can optimize and maximize our gifts. So I hope that helps. Let's dare to soar higher. Results, results, results. And I look forward to talking with you again sometime next week. Blessings. Bye.